Good evening. Welcome to Source 16 News at 10. I'm Tammy Hancock. Well, snow has tapered off this evening, but what's ahead for the next several days? Here is meteorologist David Bryan at a look at what we can expect. David?
Well, Tammy, that snow has ended and continues to push off toward the east. Now we'll see the next big story for the overnight hours, which is going to be some much colder air working its way into western Kentucky as we have some Canadian high pressure that's going to slide in. And that means overnight lows expected to be in the teens. And when you factor in that wind, by early tomorrow morning, we can have the wind chill or the feels like temperature only in the single digits, close to zero. Then as we go through the day tomorrow, we'll have a mix of sun and clouds, but clouds increasing as we go through the day. For your Friday, temperatures only expected to top out in the low 20s across western Kentucky. And then as we head through the weekend, can't rule out a stray snow flurry as we go through the morning hours on Saturday. But really the next big story comes our way Sunday night into Monday, where we'll see another chance for some snow rolling in late Sunday night into early Monday. And then the temperatures on Monday will be critical as to whether we see a little bit of a changeover to rain or continue to see a little bit of a mix. We'll have more of that in Maine weather in just a few minutes. Tammy?
Thanks, David. And due to the snowfall and hazardous road conditions possible in the morning, here is a look at the latest school closings for tomorrow. Caldwell and Christian County Schools, Heritage Christian Academy, Graves, Hopkins, Lyon, Muhlenberg, Ohio, Todd, and Trigg Counties, Murray Independent School District, and University Heights Academy. Christian County Head Start is also closed tomorrow. Madisonville Community College and Austin Peay State University will open late at 10 o'clock in the morning due to the inclement weather. And now this also includes the main campus and Austin Peay Center at Fort Campbell. Now here's a look at some other events and meeting cancellations for Friday. The Hopkinsville Cable Authority meeting, the Dale Carnegie Seminar in Mayfield has been canceled and rescheduled for February 1st. And Dr. Gary Spencer's office is closed tomorrow due to the inclement weather conditions. For the latest cancellations, continue to watch the bottom of your screen. And for your first look at school closings and other cancellations tomorrow morning, tune in to Wake Up Western Kentucky at 6. Meanwhile, slippery road conditions have caused problems across the Source 16 viewing area most of the day, with several wrecks reported. Slick roads caused a few wrecks around the Lacey-Crofton area in northern Christian County this afternoon, with accidents reported on Highway 189 at Apex Loop, and a female driver was injured in a wreck on North Greenville Road. Another wreck occurred on the Eagle Way bypass in front of Tractor Supply when a car hit a guardrail and slid off into the median, but the driver was not injured. Late this afternoon, Transportation Cabinet Keith Todd reported that no one was injured when a snowplow in Caldwell County was involved in a crash. The crash occurred on Kentucky 672 near the 14-mile marker and involved a collision between a snowplow and a passenger vehicle. In Henderson County earlier today, luckily no one was injured when a pickup truck hit a slick spot, spun out of control, and crashed into a snowplow on Kentucky 1078 between the Onionville Road intersection and the Kentucky 416 intersection. Numerous other accidents have also been reported across western Kentucky on Interstate 24, specifically in Marshall County, where the eastbound lanes were reduced to one lane near the 19 and 22 mile markers due to the wrecks. Meanwhile, our own Michelle Herron ventured out this afternoon and filed this report on road conditions.
It's been snowing since about 10 o'clock this morning here in Hopkinsville, and we're just now starting to see some accumulation on the roadways. Now, it's important to remember that bridges and overpasses freeze first, and that will be the case once the overnight hours begin to roll in and temperatures drop. So don't drive if you don't have to, and tomorrow morning, be extra safe. Reporting from Hopkinsville, I'm Michelle Herron for Source 16 News.
And speaking of overnight road conditions, Kentucky Transportation Cabinet Keith Todd talked to Source 16 about what preparations motorists need to make if you have to travel this evening.
Well, our main concern is that overnight tonight we're expecting temperatures down in the low teens. That means the possibility of refreezing. The other thing is that creates a hazard for people that are out on the road, because something as simple as having a flat tire or running out of gas can very quickly turn into a life-threatening situation when it gets that cold. So we're urging everybody to be sure to dress warmly. If you don't want to wear a heavy coat, at least put it in the car. Some boots, gloves, cap, all of those things that you would need. Say if you ran off the road and had to walk somewhere to get help, you need to be prepared to do that.
He notes the Transportation Cabinet's safe patrols will be increasing their hours this evening until 11 o'clock and will return tomorrow morning at 4.
They're available there if you have an emergency to try to help you if they can. They can provide, minor repairs, gas, fix a flat, things like that. But their main concern is trying to get everybody prepared so that when you leave the house, that you're prepared to deal with whatever you run into out on the road. And again, it's important to slow down, take it easy, buckle your seatbelt, be prepared, carry some water with you, carry maybe some blankets in your car, maybe some snacks in case you get stranded somewhere. Their other suggestion is that you keep your gas tank at least half full.
Now, motorists who need roadside assistance or need to report someone who needs assistance can call Safe Patrol by calling 511 and selecting the option 4 from the menu. Or you can call 1-877-4-KYTC. Now that's 1-877-367-5982. In other news, as many troops prepare to deploy back to Fort Campbell from Afghanistan, Army officials announced today one brigade is preparing for its second deployment. According to Fort Campbell officials, the 159th Combat Aviation Brigade at the local Army post is scheduled to case its colors during a ceremony at the Passenger Processing Center Tuesday morning at 10:30. Army officials say the colors casing ceremony marks the final step in deployment preparation for the brigade as it heads to southern Afghanistan to assume control of the aviation mission in Regional Command South from its sister brigade, the 101st Combat Aviation Brigade. This marks the second deployment for the 159th Combat Aviation Brigade in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. Well, the Hopkinsville Christian County Emergency Communications Center celebrated the official ribbon cutting of their newly renovated building today. The building was originally built in 1978 and has undergone renovations for nearly a year. Police Chief Guy Howie talked about how the project would not have been possible without support from the city.
It's been about a year in the making for this to happen. I'd like to thank the mayor for his support and the county for their support on the funding. It's about a $285,000 project.
Now that the renovations are complete, the Hopkinsville Christian County Emergency Communications Center also doubles as the Emergency Operations Center in the time of an emergency. During an ECC board meeting prior to the ribbon cutting ceremony, Sheriff Libby Level was appointed today as the ECC chairman by Chief Howie. The ECC chairman seat rotates between the sheriff and chief of police. A Hopkins County man has been arrested for allegedly having child pornography pictures on his cell phone. Kentucky State Police executed a search warrant yesterday afternoon on 26-year-old Kyle McNeil of Madisonville, charging him with 13 counts of possession of matter portraying a sexual performance by a minor, which is a Class D felony. According to state police, the charges stem from an investigation which began January 18th after a detective received a complaint that McNeil owned a cell phone that contained inappropriate images of minors. A search executed on McNeil's phone revealed 13 inappropriate images of minors on it. McNeil was lodged in the Hopkins County Detention Center on a $25,000 bond. Meanwhile, 2 passengers in a vehicle were arrested on drug charges after a traffic stop at the intersection of Will Thom Lane and Old Simpsonia Highway yesterday. The Marshall County Sheriff's Department arrested and charged 28-year-old Stephanie Colson of Hardin and 30-year-old Terry Jameson of Benton with possession of a controlled substance and drug paraphernalia. Colson and Jameson were booked into the Marshall County Detention Center. A Mayfield woman and a Paducah teen were injured in a 2-vehicle wreck near Hickory in Graves County yesterday afternoon. According to Kentucky State Police, 50-year-old Sharon Jackson of Mayfield was stopped at the intersection of Kentucky 408 and US 45 and then pulled into the path of a car being driven by 17-year-old Abby Hart of Paducah. Jackson and Hart were both transported by the Mayfield Graves County EMS to Jackson Purchase Medical Center. State police report a passenger in Hart's car, 16-year-old Morris Johnson of Gilbersville, was not injured in the crash. Despite making strides in tobacco control, Kentucky failed every category in the American Lung Association's 2010 State of Tobacco Control Report. The report tracks progress on key tobacco control policies at the federal and state level, assigning grades based on whether laws are adequately protecting residents from what the report calls an enormous burden caused by tobacco use. According to the data, Kentucky has failed to enact much needed laws to protect its citizens from tobacco-caused illnesses. Tobacco usage is responsible for nearly 8,000 deaths in Kentucky and costs the state's economy over $3.7 billion, that's right, $1 billion with a B, annually in health care costs and lost productivity. In addition, each year 443,000 people die from tobacco-related illnesses and secondhand smoke exposure, making tobacco the leading cause of preventable death. Governor Steve Beshear and healthcare providers are working to pass legislation to balance the Medicaid budget in fiscal year 2011. Legislative action is needed to prevent devastating cuts to the program that provides health care to more than 800,000 of Kentucky's most vulnerable citizens. The 2010 through 2012 enacted budget assumed the state would receive over $200 million from the federal government in higher or enhanced federal matching rates. However, final action at the federal level will leave a $100 million gap in this year's Medicaid budget. Governor Beshear says that if the funds are not reallocated, the impact to the program and its providers will be devastating. 3rd District State Senator Joy Pendleton is back in the Commonwealth after attending a 3-day state agriculture and rural leaders legislative chair summit in Arizona last week. Pendleton of Hopkinsville says the 10th annual meeting gives him the chance to hear new ideas and to access information, as well as an opportunity for him to express concerns of local farmers to influential people at the national level. SARL is a nonprofit organization dedicated to enhancing the roles of agriculture and rural development leadership. Taking a look at Friday's Mega Millions jackpot, it's $51 million, and Saturday's Powerball jackpot is $118 million.